Okay, we will now demonstrate how to take the data from the data logger that we uploaded to the computer and do the analysis so we can get pH versus time. So the first thing to do is, again, in the XPRIZE folder, we can double click that and we go to the data folder, double click that, and we have a Excel file called Sensor1, and that is what's holding all of the macros. So we do have to open that. And this says sensor pH calculation macros. So we're going to open the data we got from the data logger, and then we can stay in that spreadsheet where the data is, and you can execute the macro using the keystroke combination corresponding to the sensor that's being used. And there is a number marked on the sensor that we would have to make note of. If it's sensor 1, the macro is Control X, sensor 2 is Control Y, sensor 3 is Control Z. So now we can open the data file that we got from the data logger. We click Open, and it defaulted to My Documents, but again we go to Desktop, XPRIZE, Data, only we don't want it to be down in the file type. Instead of all Excel files, we have to select all files because this is a data file. It's not an Excel file of any sort. So you click All Files, and that brings up all of these old DAT files, which that is the default name for a data file from the Campbell data logger. And I have a data set called sample data set that we'll use just to illustrate how to do this. So you select that and come down to the corner and click Open. And it brings up a text import wizard dialog. It is in fact delimited, so we just leave that and we come down and click Next down here in this corner. And now we have options to select the delimiters. It is comma separated, so we will select comma. And you see it already recognized then where the data is. And so we don't need to do the rest of the wizard. We can just click Finish. We click that, and this brings up the raw data. So now, looking at this raw data, all we need to do is push the appropriate key sequence, and I said this is for sensor 1, so it's Control X, so I push Control and X, and up on the screen when I do that you will see the macro execute, and it goes crazy, and there you have date, time. These are the readings from the data logger, the raw readings, the temperature, and then here's the calculated pH. Now this, as we said before, starts recording data as soon as you download the program. So it does, however, record the date and the time. So if you know that you put the sensor down in the test fluid, say at 6:20, what you can do is highlight down to 6:20 p.m. and right click and delete. And so now here it's at 6:20, and I believe for 2A you were supposed to record for 10 minutes. So from 6:20 to 6:30 would be the actual data that you would use to evaluate the sensor.